Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Week August 4th to 8th, Kyle's Secret. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 4th to 8th note that someone will keep Claire in the dark about something, so Kyle may hide the fact that Victor's deal with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, was for the brunette to seduce him. Kyle wants to out the mustache bad, but this won't be the time or place to do so, considering she just lost Cole and needs to lean on both Kyle and Victor. What is this? With that said, will he notice the growing closeness between Claire and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens? The two bonded while Kyle was away, so there's a good chance that Holden may take the opportunity to remind Kyle of this and get some digs in. Y&R Week August 4th to 8th, Kyle's Secret rocks Genoa City, betrayal, blackmail, and a dangerous game unleashed. Genoa City is no stranger to secrets, but Kyle Abbott's latest deception threatens to unravel not only his life, but the delicate alliances holding the town's elite together. During the week of August 4th to 8th, the Young and the Restless shifts into explosive territory as Kyle's deeply buried secret surfaces, and the ripple effect is staggering. With Summer Newman catching wind of strange behavior, Audra Charles playing a dangerous double game, and Victor Newman's instincts kicking in, the week promises chaos, heartbreak, and scandal at every turn. Kyle has been spiraling for months. Ever since his marriage to Summer imploded, his flirtation with Audra Charles turned physical, and his sense of control over Jabot slipped away. Fans have watched him self-destruct. But what no one knew, until now, is that Kyle has been hiding something darker, more dangerous than any romantic entanglement, a betrayal that could take down the Abbott family and cost him custody of Harrison forever. The week opens with Kyle distracted, snapping at co-workers at Marchetti and dodging calls from Summer. Claire notices his agitation first, concerned that Harrison is picking up on the tension. Summer, sensing something is seriously off, begins to probe. But Kyle deflects with rehearsed charm, claiming long hours and work stress. It's a lie, and he knows the clock is ticking. Audra, fresh off her dismissal from Newman Media and still reeling from her fall from Victor's grace, shows up unannounced at Kyle's apartment. Their chemistry is as volatile as ever, but she's not there for romance. Audra has discovered a confidential file on a private server, one that connects Kyle to a secret business deal that violates Jabot's board ethics. Kyle, while working late nights during his rehabilitation period at Marchetti, used insider information to secure silent shares in a cosmetic startup using a proxy buyer, a direct conflict of interest and a betrayal of his family. Audra confronts Kyle with the information, and for a brief moment, he tries to bluff. But when she pulls out the signed digital authorization, Kyle knows he's cornered. Audra, however, isn't interested in exposing him, not yet. She wants something in return, access to Marchetti's upcoming luxury product line plans. Audra intends to pitch them to a European investor she's courting to rebuild her career. If Kyle complies, she stays quiet. If he doesn't, she goes to Jack, or worse, Victor. Meanwhile, Summer is digging deeper. After finding a receipt for a bank transfer Kyle couldn't explain, she turns to Phyllis, who has ways of uncovering financial records even when banks won't cooperate. What they find is shocking, a shell company linked to Kyle that was also receiving payments from someone connected to Tucker McCall's overseas interests. Could Kyle be playing both sides in the Jabot-Newman feud? Back at Jabot, Jack senses something is wrong. Kyle's erratic behavior, missed meetings, and sharp tongue raise alarms. Billy, still trying to gain Jack's full trust as acting CEO, offers to investigate quietly, but Jack insists on confronting his son himself. What follows is one of the most intense father-son confrontations in recent history. Kyle breaks down, admitting only part of the truth, that he's made a serious mistake in his attempts to prove his worth. Jack, devastated, warns him that any further secrets will not only cost him his position, but his place in the family. But Kyle isn't ready to come clean about everything. Especially not the part that involves Harrison. The biggest bombshell of the week comes when Tara Locke's name resurfaces. A mysterious letter arrives at the Abbott mansion addressed to Kyle, in Tara's handwriting. She claims to have damaging evidence about Kyle's recent financial dealings and hints that the paternity of Harrison might not be as ironclad as once believed. Enclosed is a photograph of a man she met in prison, a man who bears a striking resemblance to Harrison. She says a DNA test is pending and warns Kyle that unless he pays her legal fees and arranges her transfer to a minimum security facility, she will go public. Panicked, Kyle goes to Diane, desperate for guidance. Diane, having survived her own resurrection and scandal, urges him to stay quiet and let her handle it. She calls in an old favor from Jeremy Stark's former associate, someone skilled in making inconvenient letters disappear. But Summer, who sees Diane and Kyle having an intense, whispered exchange, suspects more than a family dispute. She follows Diane to a secret meeting and captures part of the conversation on her phone. Summer confronts Kyle the next day, playing the audio. Kyle, devastated, finally crumbles under pressure and admits the entire truth, the business betrayal, the blackmail, and the possibility that Harrison might not be his son. Summer is speechless. All this time, she's tried to protect Harrison, co-parent respectfully, and support Kyle's growth. And he kept this from her? Her anger is white-hot, not just for Kyle, but for Diane, who once again manipulated events from the shadows. By Thursday, the entire Abbott family is reeling. Jack learns the full extent of Kyle's deception and explodes in fury. Ashley, now back in town and watching the Jabot board like a hawk, pushes for Kyle's immediate removal from all business matters. Billy, despite their tension, defends Kyle, arguing that he's clearly being blackmailed and needs protection, not punishment. But Jack is torn. His love for his son battles with the legacy he spent decades building. Kyle's actions could destroy all of it. Phyllis, never one to let chaos go to waste, leaks the information about the potential paternity twist to a gossip blog. Her rationale? If the truth is going to come out, better to control the narrative. But her actions ignite a media firestorm. Reporters swarm outside the Abbott gate. Paparazzi chase Summer and Claire at the park with Harrison. It's a nightmare. On Friday, the episode culminates in a tense emergency meeting at the Abbott mansion. Jack, Diane, Kyle, Summer, Ashley, and Billy sit at the table. The room is silent until Kyle finally stands and says what everyone is thinking: "I don't know who I am anymore, but I won't let my son pay the price for my mistakes." He proposes stepping down from all business responsibilities, submitting to a full family-led investigation into his actions, and ordering an independent DNA test for Harrison, even if the results change everything. Summer, hurt but still the fierce protector, demands to be involved in every step of the process. Diane's expression softens, but her eyes are full of fear. She knows that if Harrison isn't Kyle's, she could lose her place in this family for good. Billy, surprisingly, offers his support to Kyle, believing redemption is still possible. Jack ends the meeting by saying, "The Abbotts have survived scandal, betrayal, and heartbreak. We'll survive this. But Kyle, you've got a lot to prove." As the week closes, the DNA test is underway. Audra receives a call from her mysterious European backer, someone with connections to Victor. And in prison, Tara Locke smiles as she receives a wire transfer from an anonymous sender, someone determined to ensure Kyle Abbott's downfall is only just beginning. August 4th to 8th is a week that reshapes everything for the Abbotts. Kyle's secret isn't just a scandal, it's a reckoning. And in Genoa City, no secret stays buried forever. Week August 11th to 15th, Kane's plan. The only silver lining in the explosive confrontation that saw Chancellor, Connor Floyd, lose his life is that it proved that Carter, Vincent Stalba, was behind Damien's passing, not Kane. Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, acknowledged this after everything went down, so could Kane try and come up with a new plan to win his ex-wife's heart? Speaking of, with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, rejoining forces with Phyllis in an effort to work with Kane, will they come up with a more concrete plan to win him over? Their new alliance could rub Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, the wrong way, so this new partnership between Philly may place a wedge between Silly. Meanwhile, two other exes will bond in grief, as it looks like Nate and Vicky will continue to find themselves in each other's orbit and lean on each other. How will Audra feel about this? Are you excited about the next 3 weeks in GC? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Y&R Week August 11th to 15th, Kane's plan unleashed, betrayal, revenge, and a dangerous comeback that shakes Genoa City. Kane Ashby is back, and he's not the same man who left Genoa City. The charming, well-meaning businessman who once fought for love and family has returned with a darker agenda, a sharpened edge, and secrets that could turn the town upside down. During the week of August 11th to 15th, the Young and the Restless dives headfirst into a complex web of deception, power moves, and buried motives as Kane sets a master plan into motion, one that threatens legacy families, old alliances, and rekindles rivalries thought long dead. Genoa City will never be the same. It all begins with a quiet arrival. Kane slips into town unnoticed, booking a suite at the Grand Phoenix under a false name. His appearance is different, leaner, harder, and his eyes carry the weight of betrayal. He's not here for nostalgia. He's here for justice, or revenge, depending on who you ask. His first stop isn't Chancellor Winters or the Abbott Mansion. It's a visit to a grave, Catherine Chancellor's. Kane kneels at her tombstone, speaking softly, "You gave me everything. They took it all away. Now I'm taking it back." Kane's return immediately sparks questions. Devon Hamilton hears whispers that someone has been snooping around old Chancellor financial records. When Lily confronts the accounting team, they admit someone resembling Kane requested access to historic trust accounts tied to Catherine's contested inheritance. It sets off alarm bells. Last time Kane was in town, he nearly inherited billions under false pretenses, thanks to a fraudulent will. Though the matter was resolved in Devon's favor, Kane has always insisted he was manipulated, and now, he wants vindication. Meanwhile, Jill Abbott catches wind of her prodigal stepson's return and flies back from Europe. She's not happy. Jill has worked hard to rebuild the Chancellor legacy, smooth tensions between Lily and Devon, and maintain order. Kane's presence is a threat to all of it. When she confronts him at the Grand Phoenix, it's one of the week's most heated scenes. Kane accuses Jill of abandoning him when the wool scandal exploded and vows he won't leave this time without what he deserves. Jill warns him, "If you go after Devon again, you'll lose more than just family, you'll lose your soul." But Kane isn't acting alone. Unknown to most, Kane has aligned himself with someone else seeking revenge, Colin Atkinson, his father. Though still technically on the run, Colin has been orchestrating parts of Kane's return from afar, offering financial backing and leveraging old connections to plant seeds of disruption in Genoa City's business circles. He claims to have uncovered evidence that the will Kane once received may not have been completely false, that there were multiple versions of Catherine's final estate documents, and one was deliberately buried. As Kane digs into the archives with the help of a mysterious legal aide named Evelyn, he uncovers a sealed affidavit signed by an attorney now deceased. The document suggests Catherine made a late-in-life amendment favoring Kane, under specific conditions. Whether it's genuine or another manipulation is unclear. But Kane is ready to weaponize it either way. Simultaneously, Kane begins reaching out to familiar faces, some cautiously, others warmly. He shares an awkward encounter with Lily at Society, where he apologizes for the way things ended but avoids discussing his real intentions. Lily, now thriving as a co-CEO, is cordial but wary. She senses a storm coming. Devon, meanwhile, refuses to even meet Kane. "I gave him every chance," Devon tells Abby. "I'm not giving him one more minute to play victim." But Kane doesn't just target Chancellor Winters. He sets his sights on the Abbotts, particularly Billy. In a twist no one saw coming, Kane meets with Audra Charles, who's still recovering from the fallout of her latest business betrayal. The two form an uneasy alliance. She has access and contacts, and he has motivation and secrets. Together, they begin exploring vulnerabilities in Jabot's licensing deals, specifically those connected to Billy's impulsive ventures. Audra and Kane stage a chance run-in with Billy at the athletic club, where Kane brings up old memories of their feud, making veiled threats about Billy's gambling past resurfacing in ways that could damage Jabot's reputation. Billy doesn't bite, at first, but it's clear Kane is playing psychological warfare. He wants Billy on edge, and it's working. Back at Chancellor Winters, Lily and Devon grow more concerned. They decide to investigate Kane's financial movements. What they find is shocking. Kane has formed a new LLC with offshore ties, funded through a private equity group that once tried to buy out Hamilton Winters years ago. The same group that had silent ties to Tucker McCall. It's unclear whether Tucker is involved now, but the connection is undeniable. If Kane's plan is unfolding as they suspect, he's not just here to reclaim an inheritance, he's positioning himself to destabilize Chancellor Winters from the inside out. Victor Newman also begins taking an interest in Kane's return. The mustache doesn't trust wild cards, and Kane, working with Audra, threatening Devon, sniffing around Newman's competitors, qualifies as a threat. Victor tasks Michael Baldwin with discreetly monitoring Kane's actions. By midweek, Michael reports back with troubling news. Kane is meeting with legal counsel tied to a law firm that once represented Newman Enterprises during hostile takeovers. Victor doesn't like the optics. At Crimson Lights, Kane shares a quiet moment with Sharon. It's one of the only times he lets his guard down. He talks about losing direction, about feeling like a stranger in a town he once called home. Sharon offers kindness but warns him that revenge never brings the closure people expect. Kane listens, but the sadness in his eyes turns cold again before he leaves. By Thursday, everything starts to unravel. Devon receives a cease and desist letter from Kane's legal team, demanding that the Chancellor Trust be reopened and reviewed in light of new evidence. Lily is blindsided. Devon is livid. Jill, upon reading the letter, calls Kane a disgrace and vows to fight back with everything she's got. But Kane doesn't blink. He tells his lawyer, "They think I'm bluffing. But they've underestimated how far I'm willing to go." The climax of the week happens at a Chancellor Winters board meeting where Kane shows up uninvited with his legal team in tow. He announces that he has every intention of reclaiming what he believes Catherine wanted him to have, control of her legacy. This company was built on her vision. And I was part of that. You erased me. Now I'm back to correct history. Lily stands and fires back, "You're not here for legacy. You're here to burn the past down so you can feel powerful. But we won't let you." The episode ends with a shocking teaser. Evelyn, Kane's legal aide, makes a call from a burner phone. "He's doing exactly what you said he would. He'll have everything by the end of the month." The voice on the other end? Jill's ex-husband, and Kane's old rival, Colin Atkinson. August 11th to 15th marks the beginning of a dangerous new era in the young and the restless. Kane Ashby's plan isn't just about money, it's about rewriting the narrative of his life. But in a town like Genoa City, every plan has a price. And as the lines between justice and vengeance blur, one thing becomes clear: no one will leave this battle untouched. Tools.